An address to register as a homeless person to vote in California. You can just say, I live in such and such a park, or I live near the intersection of 12th and Broad Street. That's all you need to register and vote as a homeless person in California.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with commentary editor Con Carroll. And Con, the California elections were about a week and a half ago at this point, and they're almost done counting the votes.
Almost.
But actually, not quite. And the conversations about what that means have kind of fallen into two camps, right? One is that it's very obviously rigged and totally fraudulent, top to bottom, and the other is that you can't question a single aspect of the election without being a conspiracy theorist. So what do you make of those two conversations and the speed of the count?
I mean, I think they're the same conversation because the real scandal is what is actually legal in California. We're talking about a jurisdiction where not only do you not need photo ID to register and then to vote, not only do they have mass mailings of all ballots, whether you request it or not, but the key point is that they allow what is called ballot harvesting, where people are allowed to go and collect ballots, third parties, and take those ballots to the ballot drop-off place and put them in. No other state allows the scope of ballot harvesting that California does. So you have other states where, let's say you have a grandma who's tired and can't go to the ballot box. Mm-hmm. You can have a relative or a legal guardian take that ballot, her ballot, a third party, take that ballot and turn it in for her. That's fine, that's understandable, a lot of people get that. In California, it can be anybody. Okay, and there are other states that allow non-relative third parties to do it, but no state also allows the ballot harvesters to be paid. The only restriction California puts on it is that they can't be paid per ballot. So you can pay someone, minimum wage or by the hour to go down to literally Skid Row and register a bunch of homeless people, help them fill out a ballot, and then turn it in for them. And then most states that have these third-party collectors put a monetary limit on it that says, okay, yes, you can collect ballots from other people, but only 10 per person. California has no limit. Someone can walk in with literally thousands of ballots, and it's perfectly legal. And that is the real scandal with California's voting system.
What is the good faith argument for mass ballot harvesting like that? I mean, surely when California implemented that system, there was some sort of pitch they made to voters, right? What is it?
Ballot access. Everyone deserves a right to vote. We should make it easier for everyone to vote as much as possible, even homeless people. And that's literally the argument they made, is that the homeless are citizens, people. They have a right to vote. And even if they have no address, you can look this up. You don't even need an address to register as a homeless person to vote in California. You can just say, I live in such and such a park, or I live near the intersection of 12th and Broad Street. That's all you need to register and vote as a homeless person in California. And the ballot harvesters of the Democratic Party are very happy to help you do it.
California also has a really extensive system for curing ballots, which is to say if a signature doesn't match the one on file, the election workers will contact the voter and try to reconcile those differences. Right. Does that not build a lot of discretion in, though, for potentially partisan election workers to only contact voters
Absolutely.
who have voted Democratic?
And if you go and read the statute, the limit or the standard is very, very loose. In fact, the presumption is that any signature is valid. And the signature can be an X, it can be a smiley face. And it's completely up to the discretion of the person counting the ballot whether or not a signature is valid or not. Now, if you are, say, a Republican and you want to track whether your ballot has been accepted, you can do so online. And if your signature is rejected, you then have 22 days to go and cure it. You can go about and say, no, really, it's me, and fix that. But again, people will talk about, the California Democrats will say, oh, we have this signature matching system that really keeps the integrity of the system in whole. But the matching system is such a joke, and it's really a very tiny percentage that do get thrown out because of signatures not matching.
Well, even though this is kind of what you're describing is really far afield from a free and fair election where the winner is whoever has persuaded the most voters to go to the polls, right? But sort of setting that aside, these are the rules in California. Why don't Republicans go and harvest their own votes or aggressively cure ballots? I mean, why don't Republicans take advantage of the rules as they are?
Well, I think a number of reasons is that they also just don't have the machine that Democrats do when they do this. And it is particularly one wing of the Democratic Party that is the best at this. That is the most progressive, populist wing, the Democratic Socialists of America, and that is the candidate that overtook Spencer Pratt here. A lot of people are like, oh, why would the Democrats rig this against Karen Bass? But what they miss is that the Democratic Party is being taken over by literally socialists, the Democratic Socialists of America, and they are the ones that are best attuned. And you can go to their website; it's still up there, where they have specific instructions on how to get strangers to help fill in ballots. The process is you approach them, you say, hey, who are you going to vote for? If they say they're going to vote for the Republican, it instructs them to move on.
Well, see, that's my favorite part, because if this is about accessibility, the law actually creates a huge inequity there, because this is someone who might not have access to the ballot, and yet you're not going to help them access the vote if it's not for your preferred candidate, apparently.
Right, and this is why most other states reject third-party ballot collection, or what we call ballot harvesting, because it is so unequal as far as who gets reached out to and who gets their ballots then collected by these harvesters and turned into count.
And finally, the Supreme Court right now is weighing a decision in a case that could result in Election Day being the drop-dead point for receiving ballots.
Make Election Day great again.
Make Election Day great again. Will this have an effect on the type of races we saw in California just now, or is this only going to be in presidential and congressional elections?
It would be only congressional elections, because the law passed nationally does mandate an election day, and that's for only federal elections. So, for example, while federal law says only citizens can vote, local state jurisdictions, whether it's the state of California or a city, can allow illegal immigrants to vote if they want, and many California jurisdictions have done exactly that.
Well, Con, thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
You can get more from Con and the rest of the commentary team at WashingtonExaminer.com.
Wait, you don't write anything down after conversation?